Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for getting back to us, to me. Okay. As always, I will do the prayer on behalf of us. Let's sit upright, place our palms together, and concentrate on the prayer below. We take refuge with our kind mentor Benny. We take refuge with Shakyamuni Buddha. We take refuge with all the triple jewel of the 10 directions and the 3 periods of time. Verse for new future. They surpass profound and wonderful Dhamma in hundreds of millions of years. It is difficult to encounter when I see and hear it, receive and never hold it, and without you fathom the Tathagata's true meaning, and without you practice the Tathagata's true way, and without you attain the Tathagata's true state. Without that, we can spontaneously express the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability and Buddha's state through our actions, speech, and thoughts. We also vow that all the living beings can enter into the Buddha's understanding, Buddha's view, Buddha's wisdom, Buddha's merit and virtue, Buddha's capability and Buddha's state owing to us. So yeah, that's the prayer. Yesterday we learned one sentence about the new paragraph. Yeah, let's go back to the video.
Our egoic thinking has robbed one continuum, one half stance. War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum. War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum. War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum.
Yes, hello Daisy, would you like to read it and then try to recite it again?
Yes. War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum.
Okay, recite it, please.
War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Jing, you please.
Okay. War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum.
Yes, perfect. Recite it, please.
War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Yeah, one peace arise together in an endless dance. Yeah, one is the one continuum. Yeah, one continuum. Okay, so that's it. I just finished reciting. Now let's go ahead with the new sentence about maybe this word, maybe this sentence first. Listen to it carefully.
War and peace arise together in an endless dance. They are one continuum. One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
All right. Yeah, one half cannot exist without the other. Yeah, this is is the summarizing, and this the main clause, and this the main idea, the core of the whole sentence. One half cannot exist without the other. And then, yeah, they also listed the examples such as, yeah, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. So here, up and down, actually, yeah, I will ask Daisy to analyze the structure and also the composition. The world seems to want light without darkness. So want three kinds of issues: light without darkness, furnace without emptiness, happiness without sadness. Yeah, this is the people in the world want. Yeah, so that's it. And so Daisy, would you like to analyze the two sentences structure for us, please?
Okay, let me try. One half cannot exist without the other. One half is the subject. Cannot exist is the predicate. Without the other is a proposition. And cannot exist without the other. Without the other is a proposition. And it works as the adverbial part. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. Yeah, just as is just as lead a sentence. And in this sentence, just as actually lead a compound sentence. In this compound sentence, light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. Light is the object. And up, light and up are the objects or subjects. Cannot exist is the predicate. Without dark and without down are the proposition phrase. I'm not sure exist 这里是不是一个那个什么系动词 ？I'm not sure exist。
不是的，是一个不及物动词。好，那你刚才说的是 just as，这个 as 是引导一个句子，这个句子是 compound sentence。So do you know? Could you explain compound sentence for us in Chinese?
就 as 引导了一个并列句 ，as 它引导了句子，但它这个句子是并列句，是两个句子并列在一起的，一个是 light cannot exist without dark。And up cannot exist without down。
它引导了并列句，并列句是这样来分的，并列句是前面的这个，假如是这个 A 的部分啊，然后加个 as， 这个是 B 的部分，这两个就叫并列句。So do you think so?
我想表达的是 as 后面的句子，它两个句子是并列句。
Compound sentence, would you like to translate it into Chinese?
Compound sentence 它就是并列句啊。
但是我刚才说的并列句就是 A and B 是并列成分才叫并列句。
然后 as 它后面确实是有两个 A and B 啊。 as 后面 light cannot exist without dark and dark cannot exist without dark。
你听我讲，是黄色部分跟蓝色部分是并列的，这个时候才叫 compound sentence。这个时候的 as 是连词，就像这个时候的这个中间的词才叫连词，这个才叫 compound。就是 A 黄色部分和蓝色的部分是它的成分，就是成分是一样的。So do you understand it？这个时候才叫 compound sentence。比如说，他一句话没说完，然后按着另外一句话再来说一下，他这个两个句子的部分都是完整的。但这个时候，这个 as 不是引导一个并列句，只是说 as 后面的成分是并列成分而已。你知道这个意思吗？在这个从句，在这个 as 引导的这个从句当中，as 引导的是从句而不是并列句，在这个从句当中是一个并列句，这个才是一个并列句，这个 and 才是一个并列句，看到了没有？
有看到。
所以整个句子不是并列句，不是 compound sentence， 是 complex sentence， 或者是叫做一个 complex and compound sentence， 就是这个复合并列句。它其实是这个句子简单一点的话，它就是一个 complex sentence， 它是有从句的，从句是 as 引导的，这个 as 是连词，它引导的不是一个并列成分，是一个列举的成分，就是说后面的这个从属于前面的这个部分，只不过从属的部分它并不是从属于它的主谓宾，是从属于它的一个状语部分，是列举的部分。可以理解它的可以理解吗？对不对？
我可以理解。
所以这个句子它是 complex sentence。complex sentence 有 as 引导的一个状语部分，这个状语部分是进一步来说明它，就是来举例。在这个例子当中，在这个中括号当中就有一个并列句，所以它整体的来说可以认为是复合并列句，或者是直接认为它是一个复合句就好了，不是叫复合，是复杂呀 complex sentence， 整体来说是 complex sentence。 So that's it. Yeah, very detailed. 这句就相信大家都可以理解了。第二句 Yeah, Daisy, would you like to continue?
Okay, the word is the subject. Seems to do something. Seems to want. Seems to want is the predicate. Light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. Noun phrases, and it works and there works as the objects. Yeah, that's my understanding.
Yeah, 你确定 without darkness 是要连在这个 light 后面是吧？
Yeah, I think so.
它的功能是什么？
Light without darkness. Without darkness actually is a preposition phrase, and I think is an adjective function.
你说做后置定语啊？
对。
OK。
这是我的理解，请您再教我们。
这个 light without darkness 就跟这个一样的 exist without dawn 是一样的。Up cannot exist without dawn. Light without darkness 是一样的成分。你认为它是一个 light， 是一个 light 后面是一个名词后面的一个就是介词词组，它是来修饰这个名词的，也可以，或者是你直接的是就是认为它是一个副词部分，就是不想要的意思，想要什么不想要什么。 你知道这个意思吗？它 without darkness 它是可以作为副词的部分，是 want 的一个对 want 动词 want 的进一步来说明也是可以的。比如说补充完整就是 the people in the world seems to want light but don't want darkness， 就这个意思。The people 就后面都是这个意思。它这个的 without darkness 可以来修饰，它是一个副词部分来修饰这个动词 want， 就可以这个前面的这个 without down 这个是一个就是一个副词部分来修饰 exist 是一样的。So can you touch it, Daisy?
Yes.
就是这两种理解会都是可以的。如果是说按照前面的这个的话，就是在动词后面 without 这个就是一个副词部分，因为它都是在列举，这个也可以这样认为，也是一样的可以认为。如果你放在这个名词后面，认为它是一个介词来修饰这个名词，也说得过去。All right, so thank you so much for your understanding. Now time for us to read it, okay? Shadow it.
One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down.
So up cannot exist without down. 这个 up 是什么词性？Yeah, Daisy, a further question.
名词。
就我们查的时候是查不出来 up 是名词吧？
有
是吧？ up 是up and downs. Up cannot exist without down. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, thank you so much. Up and downs, ups and downs 它是一个成语，它是荣辱兴衰，就是那种就是这种感觉的，上上下下的，有好有坏的，荣辱也有兴衰的时候，也有兴的时候，也有衰的时候。Up and down. Okay, we learned, right? 这个 up 也可以直接的成为名词，就是我们平时知道的这个 up 跟 down 都一般的副词或者是介词比较多一些。Now let's go ahead with the shadowing.
The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
这一遍我们来找一下这个中毒的一些词 stressed words.
One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Happiness without sadness. Okay. One half cannot exist without the other. 这些都必须要中读。Cannot exist without the other. Just as 是副词。Just as light cannot exist without dark. 这些因为 without 它是一个 negate 是一个否定词，所以也是要重读的。And up cannot exist without down. 这些都是要重读。The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. Yeah, okay. Double check. It just says the 定冠词 as 就是这个连词 and 连词 the 定冠词 to 是介词，其他都是要重读。我们再看一看，听一听。
One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yes, that's exactly. So Daisy, would you like to read it twice?
Yeah, okay, thank you. One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yes, once again.
Okay. One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Okay, next one is Jin. Hello, Jin.
Okay.
I'll play it for you, okay?
One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yes, you please.
Okay. One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yeah, once again.
Okay. One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Genius. Yeah, you did it. Thank you so much. Okay, next one is Joy. Hello, Joy.
Hello. Okay. Yes.
Okay, I can hear you. Okay, I'll play it for you, okay?
Okay.
One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Please.
Yes. One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and dark cannot exist without dawn. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Once again.
One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and dark cannot exist without dawn. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yes, especially without 读的特别好 ，without 就是这个 out 它就是读的很平的声音。
One half cannot exist without the other.
Without the other.
Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want
the world 这怎么读的？就 the world okay, the world seems to want yeah, perfect yeah, Joy 的这个模仿能力太强。Okay, I will follow it. one half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without dawn. The world seems to the world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. Okay, 再听一下。
Light without darkness, fullness without emptiness. The world seems to want light without
The world， 它有个 L 的音在里面。The world seems to want light without darkness. Okay.
darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
All right. So yeah, that's it. Time for us to recite it. Daisy, would you like to lead us to recite it?
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Read it first.
Okay, one half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Recite it, please.
Okay, one half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yeah, good memory. Yeah, genius. Thank you so much. Next one is Jing. You please.
OK， 我也先读一遍，有点不熟悉。好。One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yeah.
OK， 好，
Yeah.
试一下。
Exactly.
好，One half cannot exist without the other. Just as light cannot without dark, and up cannot exist without down. 开始什么？
是人。
The world seems.
Yeah.
The world seems to want light. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. 是这样吗？
Yes, perfect. Yeah, that's it. 好，我来问一个问题。One half cannot exist without the other. The other 如果要补充完整的话，省略了一个什么？
The other half.
Wow, genius. Yes, that's it. 它这个省略的话 ，the other， 它省略了以后 ，the other 就成了这个 other 成了一个代词。如果没有省略，把这个 half 加上去，它就是成了一个定语，就是成了一个形容词。The other half， 正是如此，就是相当于是任何事物都有两面的，就是单面的存在不了了，就是单面的是不能存在的。就是如果没有另外一面，这个单面的事物是不能存在，就这个意思。就是如光，它的光不能与，就是没有黑暗就没有光啊，就这个意思。然后没有那个没有衰败就没有兴盛，就类似于这些。Okay, you are amazing. Thank you. You did it. Yeah. Okay. Next one is Joy. Recite it, please.
Okay.
Read
One
it.
half. 我直接背吧。
好。
One half cannot exist with the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down.
Mm-hmm.
The world seems to want light. Want light light cannot without darkness. Fullness without emptiness. Happiness without sadness.
Yes. So yeah, the second sentence, would you like repeat it? 第二句话可以再重复一下吗？ The world.
The world seems to want light want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness.
Yeah, fullness without emptiness, right? Yes.
Fullness.
Yeah, you did it. You did it. Thank you. 刚才的时候，第一遍您背的时候，the world seems to want light, exist without
混了。
后来好了。Okay, you're amazing. Thank you. I will read it first and then try to recite it. One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without dark, and up cannot exist without down. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without happiness, and fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. Okay, I will recite it. One half cannot exist without the other, just as light cannot exist without darkness, and up cannot exist without dawn. The world seems to want light without darkness, fullness without emptiness, happiness without sadness. So that's it. That's what we learned today, and thank you so much for your time, for joining me. Okay, so that's all for today. See you then. Bye.